Hey guys, welcome back. I've got Squilliam here with me, and we're here to talk to you about how to protect your investment if you're looking to become a reptile breeder. As a reptile breeder, you will be spending a crazy amount of money on your animals, the bills it takes to take care of your animals, your electric bills, your vet bills, food, substrate, whatever it may be. On top of that, you'll have equipment, racks, caging, incubators, whatever that may look like depending on which reptile you're looking at breeding. So I want to take a look at some pretty inexpensive ways you can put safeties in place to protect your investments, and they are very effective. So we've time traveled over to my office, which now doubles as a room where I keep my incubators, freezer for my frozen thawed rats, and more incubators. So currently I have multiple incubators in here. This one is for ball python eggs. I got another one here I'm in the process of building that is for a different species, which will be incubated at different temperature than what ball python eggs are. I've got my freezer for the frozen thaw rats, as I mentioned, and then another incubator. And this one I've got set up for house snake eggs, or colubrid eggs, I guess you'd say. They incubate at a lower temperature. Then a small refrigerator for thawing out rats when needed. So last week on Sunday, while hanging out with the family, we ran into an issue. My power had gone out. I didn't realize it, and my eggs in my incubator started to drop. And because of these things I have in place, it was able to give me a warning so I could act on it quickly, and it didn't go on too long to where it might damage the eggs. So one of the first items is going to be right here. I got this one's an EcoFlow, and it is essentially a backup power supply, a giant battery per se that will charge up. I'm charging it through the wall outlet currently, but when the power goes out, it's going to feed whatever I have plugged into. So that means I have several hours of power as backup if I do lose power here, to where my eggs will be okay. The incubation temperatures won't drop too low. But it is fairly expensive. I mean, you're going to probably be looking anywhere from $800 to well over $1,000, some run in the $2,000 range. I chose this one at the time I got it because it has solar panels, so that you can hook up to it. It's meant more for RVs or recreational vehicles, and you can essentially set the solar panel up outside and it'll charge through that, which will buy me some more time if I do lose power beyond what this is capable of keeping things powered up at. Some things I'd recommend using with this are some kind of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi temperature and humidity monitoring. I do this all the time. They've got tiny ones, as you can see here. This one's made by Govee, and by the way, nothing you see in this video is a sponsored item. These are all made by Govee, actually. They got these. These are the Wi-Fi version. You don't need a hub for this. These are a smaller version. You do need a hub. Plugs into the wall. It's pretty small, easy to hook up through the Govee app, works with Google Home and whatever Apple's version of that is. I use Google Home myself, but I'm really liking these better. These here, they're bigger, obviously, so when you're putting them in an egg box, they are kind of clunky. They take up a lot of space. Almost one of the whole egg spots in a easy hatch tray essentially is taken up by this guy here. And I've seen more connectivity issues, and I have one I bought last year that just is not reading correct anymore. And that could be because I got water in it. I'm not sure. No knock against the product. It's just, I've had so far better luck with these smaller ones, and I like the size of them better. Now, something I use on my freezer is this item here. And I will link all these down in the description. But this one here is nice. It hooks up to the bottom like so. You unravel this guy here. You got a display here that'll read temperature and humidity. And then it's also hooks up through that Govee app so you can get alerts and you can set your temperature and humidity ranges. You set highs, you set lows. You can say alarm if it goes too high, alarm if it goes too low, or just one or the other. And that's what saved me last weekend was the alarm. I got a notification on my phone saying that my temperatures were too low, and I was able to look at the trends through the app and see when it started to drop and how long I'd been too low, which is also very helpful. So another perk of having the, which I didn't finish before, the probe here goes into the freezer, which I use on this one right behind me to make sure my rats don't end up getting too cold too warm. We're not worried about too cold and thaw out at all, because you can start getting bacterial growth inside of the rats and decomposition, all that. And again, with the money we're investing in these animals, we don't want to be feeding them spoiled food. And when it comes to these, they're all fairly inexpensive, especially this Govee brand. I know there's another brand out there, Sensor Push is the name of it, and it does the exact same thing. It's a little bit bigger, I believe, than this. I just had Govee lights already that I use in the reptile room for some of my caging and just some of the lights in general in the room. So I ended up going with this again, and it works really good. Like I said, I love the size of it. And I think for a 6-pack of sensors with the hub included, it was under $100, which was a better price point than what I saw with the Sensor Push. We'll take a little field trip here over to the actual incubator. Another item I'm using is these Govee. These are just thermometer hygrometers. They sit right in the incubator for me. You can see I got another one of those other Wi-Fi ones there just as a backup, but typically I like to put one on the top shelf, one on the bottom shelf, and see what my temperature is throughout my incubator to make sure it's remaining consistent throughout. And these will also connect to that app and give you feedback, give you alarms. And for this one, I'm mostly worried about temperature because I take care of my humidity by sealing the eggs in a box. Here's a better look at those EcoFlow backup battery. They call them solar generators, I believe. They're not cheap. There's a few other brands out there that make them. Amazon sells them, I believe, as low as $200. I have not used them. Can't give you any details on it. These ones I like too. They connect to an app. You can check in on them. They'll tell you how much power is coming in, how much power is going out, and then based on that power usage, it tells you how many hours you have left. It's telling me I have 99 hours left because it's not using all that much at the moment. And that's with 100% battery, and I've got 2 of these going to back up all of this. For the freezer, I keep this one. That one does not give feedback. It's a Thermo Pro. It just gives me temperature and humidity of the room. But here's that one that I was showing you. Not a crazy special LCD display, but it gets the job done. It tells me what my temperature is, and it gives that feedback to the app so I can alarm. And then again in here, I got the same setup as you saw in the other incubator with those, and with my egg box controlling the humidity. Another option that's out there is it's called a UPS, which is essentially a backup power supply, a battery built into a power strip. And these are rated for 2, 4, 6 hours. They sell them on Amazon for different price points depending on how much backup battery you want. And these you can get for under $100. I do not have experience with these. I've never used them myself. I was in a good position to be able to buy one of these solar generators when I was looking to start upscaling and backing things up, so I went with that. But it is always an option, and it is better than nothing when it comes to protecting your incubation and the food you might have in the freezer or the refrigerator in the case of a power outage. I hope this video is helpful. I'll leave links down in the description below, as I said. Let me know down in the comments below if you've got any other suggestions that could add to this conversation of ways to back up your power supplies and your incubation. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.